Can I still smoke occasionally after I quit? No, that's the answer. And I hear this question a lot, especially from people I've known in person. They've always asked, hey man, once I get clean, I just want to use occasionally, right? I don't want to be smoking every day, but once in a while, on a special occasion, I want to be able to smoke. And unless they ask, I don't really tell them that's not a great idea. The thing is though, is that what I've seen for myself and I've seen through a lot of others as well, is that once one quits and starts back up again, it takes very little to get right back where you were, right back on the cycle, using every day, feeling miserable, feeling depressed. There's somebody I know that's close to me. They've been playing around with this for the last couple of years, where they've quit for a while and then they've been like, you know, I'm gonna just try to use again. And every time they just go right back to where they were, smoking every day. And before they know it, they're in a pretty unpleasant spot, like usually a mental crisis of some sort. And logically, it might make sense not to go back. However, being in it is a different story. So I empathize if you're out there and you're going through it, because it can seem like, yo, I've quit for 3 months now, I feel great, you know, maybe I can use again. Like, there's no way I'm gonna go back to the way I was using. But what happens is that when people quit, their consciousness kind of leaves off where they left off. So you hear this a lot in recovery groups for alcohol, right? People will stop drinking and they'll be like 15 years off alcohol. Then they'll go back and use again. And what they say is that they were right back to where they were, like mentally. Their conscious kind of picks up to where they were when they last drank. So in a sense, they revert back a few years because the substance is a trigger and it triggers the memories from the past, etc. So what happens with the weed is that people smoke and they get super high and they enjoy it again, right? So in their minds, it's like, okay, that's a positive, that's what I wanted. But what happens is that as somebody with a different personality, it's like, well, I want that high again. I want to keep going, I keep going. And although from the outside, it might be like, well, dude, yeah, I'm just not going to continue down that addictive cycle again. When you're in it, and if you're in it, you know what I'm talking about, it's very difficult and very different. Easier said than done, let's just say that. So what I suggest people to do is when you're ready to quit, quit for good. Say goodbye, begin working on those lasting changes that are gonna have significant effects down the line besides just in the first few months or so. Really set yourself up for long-term success in terms of setting goals, setting plans, setting what you want your life to look like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the line, right? Because this is gonna motivate you to stay off the substance, off marijuana, especially on these days where the mind says, yo, let's go smoke again. You're gonna find that, wait, I have all these goals and visions and plans now that don't involve marijuana. If I were to go back and get that short-term high, which we all know it is, it's a short-term high, I'm not gonna be able to accomplish these goals. So that being said, if you are somebody out there and you're looking to quit marijuana, you're looking to find freedom, lasting success, happiness, joy, relationships, all the above, whatever that looks like for you, then I do have one-on-one sobriety coaching. With this, we will get together once a week for about an hour and we will plan out what we want your life to look like and we'll begin taking actionable steps. What's great about coaching is you're gonna have accountability. So doing it alone can be a bit of a challenge. So again, with coaching, we're gonna have daily actionable things you can do to stay off marijuana. We're gonna set goals for you so you can accomplish your dreams. And also you'll have unlimited texting with me. So anytime you have a craving or urge come up, you can reach out and get that off your chest, out of your head and into reality. So if you're out there, if you've been trying to get sober and it hasn't been working, you're frustrated, you're at wit's end, you're ready for change, you want change, but you're just having a hard time getting the ball rolling, then I invite you to book a consult with me and we can talk for about 45 minutes. I can get to know you a little bit, see what your goals, plans, dreams are, etc. And then we can make a game plan going forward. If that's something of interest, you can book a consult down below in the description. And other than that, let's get back to the topic at hand, which is, can I still smoke after? And again, kind of going back to what I just said with the coaching, through it, we're gonna find other things that can fill your cup and that can make you not want to use anymore because you're just gonna have so many awesome things in your life. Smoking weed will just be, it'll just seem kind of silly. To get there is a different process though, and it takes time, so I hear you. It's gonna take some work, it's gonna take some grit. You may have to make some big changes in your life in terms of routines, in terms of nutrition, exercise, all the above. If you're already doing those things, great, you have a great head start. From there, you just need that a little extra accountability. So guys, I really encourage you to book a consult if that's something you're struggling with. And you know, if we don't end up working together, at least you can have an idea of what coaching will entail. And then I can give you some tips and tricks and stuff that you can take from the call that you can go forward and start working on quitting marijuana if that's something you really want and that your heart is calling out for. Because just like me, you deserve to live a great great life, and I don't want you to look back 5-10 years from now wishing you would have just taken the steps to quit 5-10 years before. That was kind of my fear. I didn't want to be looking back at my life with regret. I also wanted to have a great future, and so I knew I needed to set myself up by getting rid of this kind of annoyance, because it was just taking so much time, right? That's something too that will happen, where you might want to go back and use, and that's something that I see happen too. People go back and they start using again thinking it's just going to be, casual, and what happens though is it just takes so much time, as you know, right? Some people smoke for hours a day. I know I spent a lot of time smoking, a lot of time planning it, and so all that bandwidth that I was using or that I'm using now to work on business, to have relationships, to do fun activities, if I were to go back and smoke per se, all that time would be gone, would be lost to the marijuana. And all that stuff that I've worked really hard for will start to fall to the wayside. The unhappiness of knowing that's happening will be so disappointing that I'll probably start using more again to fill that hole. You guys get the picture, right? The cycle continues. So my goal is really to stay as far away from that as possible. I know I cannot smoke anymore, even just a little bit. I had a jar of weed when I quit, and I saved it because I had the same mindset as you did. Like, yo, I do want to smoke one day occasionally. But what I found is that I'd worked so hard, the withdrawal was so painful that I was like, I never want to go back. So what I did, some friends came over, I gave them the jar of weed, and that was it. The last time I have been in possession of marijuana, and it's only been uphill from there. So with that, guys, again, you can book a consult down below. Link will be in the description. This was a community poll, and I really appreciate you guys engaging and letting me know what you want to hear about next, because again, this is our community. These videos are for you. So I'm going to be doing a lot more polls coming up, so you can vote and you can chime in on different topics. I'll have a couple of videos coming up from suggestions that you posted. And besides that, have a great one, guys. Stay free of marijuana, and talk to you soon. Peace.